Today's recipe is Gaeng Om from the north of Thailand. There's also another Gaeng Om from the northeast, but it's a very different affair. Anyway, I'm listing most of the ingredients for the curry paste. I added 3 more later on because I felt like it. That's how curry works. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, chopping things. Lemongrass. Peel off the outer layers till you get to the soft bit. Cut off the tops. You can use them later. Don't worry about it. It's not waste. Cut it really, really finely. The finer you cut it, the less hell you're going to go through when you're pounding it in the mortar and pestle. So galangal, basically just going to slice off any dark bits, cut it into rings, and put it aside. Same for the curry roots. Just give them a chop, push them aside, slice up the turmeric just like that. Separate your garlic into cloves, but leave the skin on. Same with the shallots, if they're in clumps. When it comes to Northern Thai food or curry pastes, I tend to dry roast almost everything that goes in. Some people don't, some people do. It adds another layer of, oh God, am I going to say complexity? It adds another layer of complexity. So the chilies first. Basically you want to get some really good colour on them. You don't want to burn them, but you want to get them nice and dark. And that does 2 things. That really increases the smoky flavour, and it also makes them really crispy and crunchy and easy to pestleize, mortarize. I don't know. The lemongrass, we kind of want to dry it out, I suppose. It starts to smell kind of less lemony and a little bit more round. And I don't know, you can just tell it's toasty. The galangal and the turmeric are kind of the same. The cut faces of both of them sort of dry out and become pale. Once that's happened, they're pretty much good to go. With the shallots and the garlic, a lower heat for as long as possible. We want to char the skin on the outside and get the inside to be fairly soft, so it absorbs some of the smoky flavour, and it also makes it easy to slip them out of the skins. Obviously, skipping all of this dry roasting will cut a lot of time out of the cook of your curry, but I really recommend trying it. The last step before the pain commences is to get the skins off the shallots and garlic, and we're good to go. First of all, we've got to roast off our shrimp paste. So that's 1 layer of foil in the wok, low heat. And chuck our chilies in first. As always, 1 ingredient at a time. Pound it until it's fine or incorporated, and then move on. The rule of thumb with chilies is once there are no big flakes of actual chili skin, you're done. And from here it's just a process of elimination, going pounding the most fibrous ingredients in reverse order or forward order, I'm not sure. Anyway, that was lemongrass, and followed by the galangal and the turmeric. Each one should be pounded till it's homogeneous before you add the next. That's the coriander roots. Coriander roots pretty easy. The McQuan is the next ingredient to go in. It's a relative of Szechuan pepper. It only occurs in northern Thailand as far as I know, but you can source it from Thai grocers. If you've got one near you, ask them. Otherwise, substitute Szechuan peppercorns, or just feel free to omit it. And that there is another northern Thai ingredient, tuanao, which is a fermented soybean cake or a disc. It's basically fermented soybeans that have been flattened into a disc and then dried in the sun. In this state, sun-dried and raw, they last indefinitely, and they only become activated when you grill them over charcoal or gas, and they become like a little crispy biscuit, and they just have this amazing umami kind of thing that they bring to the party. They're great. I swear by them. So that shrimp paste is now nice and toasty. Should be kind of dry on the outside, but still not moist, but not hard and cakey on the inside. It tends to deaden the flavour if you overcook it. Tuanao has gone light brown and bubbly. Perfect. I am also aware that there are certain people who wish nothing but death to the flavour of shrimp paste. That's a shame, really. It's delicious. Poor shrimp paste. Lucky last, the tuanao. In case you're wondering, yes, my arm is quite sore. And if your arm isn't up to it, you could use a spice grinder blender combo and then pound it at the end just to bring it all together. It's totally fine. Whereas the next part may not be totally fine if you're squeamish or vegetarian. Please skip ahead. I'm just going to break this chicken down. I'll show you a little tip for how you break thighs and drumsticks apart. Apart from that, you can just watch me chopping. Here we go. You don't just try and cut through it. See on the left there, there's a line. See that line sort of on the left and where I'm not cutting? There, that's where you cut to joint a leg. It's pretty easy. Same with every other joint. Oh, I missed it then. Did you see that? Oh, God. Oh, sorry, this is a bit grisly. Sorry. So I'm doing it Thai style, which is to chop everything down into bite-sized pieces, as I said. Look, you can easily use thighs, drumsticks. I would leave the bones in, that's where the flavour is. I would also consider using a leaner, smaller bird, as this is just too much. Probably a kilo and a half maximum. Now, apart from a couple of other small preps, we're basically there. Just chucking in a little bit of the paste to the oil to see if it's hot enough, and it is. So I'm going to go in with the paste. So it feels like a generous amount of oil, but it's actually going to make quite a bit of curry. Just let that fry off for just a minute, and then we'll loosen it up with a bit of water. There we go. And then we need to add the magic water from the mortar and pestle, because that is superstitiously fantastic. Let me crank up the heat and get that curry paste starting to cook off. There you go, that's looking good. Chuck that chicken in now. Beautiful. This is a classic northern Thai ugly delicious dish. A lot of brown. Pretty delicious though. Right. That'll be the first addition of some water, just to get everything stewing. There we go. Where's he off to? Oh, yeah, lime leaves. Beautiful. Tear them up, chuck them in. I put in 4 or 5. I would have put in a little bit more than what I put in here. Then we just pop in a little bit of salt to get the initial flavour going. But this liquid is going to reduce down a bit, so don't over salt it at the start. Now, traditionally, this particular curry has a lot more liquid than the way I make it. I really like mine to be quite tight and not as soupy, because I find the more intense flavours extremely satisfying. And simple as that. Oh, the greens that go into this dish, so important. Really simple. They just make it work. It's just some mint, some coriander. I like to put in sawtooth coriander as well. It's not necessarily traditional. And you just really roughly chop that up. And we also add some spring onion, nicely chopped up. And you basically mix all those herbs together, and then you just sprinkle them into the curry just to finish it off. Mix it through. And you're pretty much done. Glutinous rice, very easy. Soak it overnight, steam it over high heat for 20 minutes. That is it. I can show you in more detail in another video, but it was too dark for this one. So we're just going to chop up one more batch of herbs to put on top of our curry. It's the same 4 guys as before, chopped up exactly the same way as before, just like this. Ta-da! Oh yeah, that's right. Some makut lime leaves are also going to be julienned and sprinkled over the top of the curry, and that's pretty much it. These things go onto a plate. Oh God, look at that. Yum. Yum. Oh yeah, super yum. Yes, please. I'm just going to try some. Get sticky rice, make it in a little spoony thing, and grab yourself some food. How's that? Better have some veggies. Man, that's so good. Alright. I'm just stoked that this food even exists. Thank you, Northern Thailand.